the studio. Let's go back to Bill and Louise in Chester. I'm almost apologetic handing back out into the cold to you.
Well, it's very kind of you, Roger. I mean, the rain is actually coming in through the windows, such as well. It's a very big wide window.
It's sort of floating, isn't it? Lovely. During the course of this election campaign, there's been a lot of talk about the role of social media, particularly when it comes to targeting young voters.
From online adverts to leaders tweeting their way around Britain, digital campaigns, of course, can reach an audience of millions.
So, just how has this election played out online? Joining us now is Elizabeth Linder, Facebook's politics and government specialist, and Rachael Farrington, a teenager from Chester who set up a website to highlight the importance of voting for young people. Morning, both. Thanks very much for joining us. Elizabeth, you'll be able to have a sort of overview. How engaged has everybody been in this election?
Well, this has been absolutely incredible. I've never seen anything like this across the UK or even the broader region. 52 million interactions on Facebook related to the election. The scale of the conversation is huge. This is the first conversational election we've ever seen in the UK.
And Rachel, social media so much more relevant to young people than leaflets or canvassing on the doorstep.
We found that a lot of young people really want to engage with their politicians, and Facebook and Twitter allows them a new way to do that. So kind of the Ask Craig sessions, the Ask Cameron, who actually allow to interact with the leaders online, provide a great resource for young people to get their questions directly to leaders.
And I just spoke to part of the BBC's Generation 2015, and they wanted that. They really seemed to want engagement.
Yeah, I think a lot of young people kind of want to know what they're voting for, and they want to meet the people they're voting for. Local politicians especially. We were quite lucky to have a politician that came into schools, but a lot of people don't have that. Their politicians are always in Westminster, so social media kind of bridges that gap and allows them to interact with people that they might not otherwise be able to do.
Does this mean you think that young people are going to vote much more than they have before?
Well, I certainly hope so. We do have studies from previous elections that show that when people see their friends, for example, voting, sharing that they're voting on Facebook, when they're connected directly to politicians, they're more likely to vote. And I think in this particular case, because politicians themselves, for the first time, have been so engaged, have made themselves available through question and answer sessions, as Rachael describes, that's really quite powerful to encourage young people that they have a voice and that they have more of a say in what happens tomorrow.
It's not just young people who use social media, though, as well, is it? What is the sort of tenor of conversations that are going on?
Well, the top issue actually has just switched on Facebook. For a very long time, health-related topics were dominating the conversation. As of the last few days, that's shifted over to the economy. So how will that affect the outcome tomorrow as this uptick in the conversation changes? We'll all have to see.
Is that, would you concur with that that's the main sort of issue at the moment?
A lot of young people are focusing on education and housing, what they're going to do after they leave school. So I think those are the main issues within young people, and yeah, it allows politicians as well, social media, to kind of contact young people and show them what their policies are in those areas.
I'm wondering from the politicians' point of view as well, do you think they've been savvy enough? I mean, we've come a long way probably in 5 years. Have they been savvy enough with social media and using it to their best advantages?
Yeah, well, that's exactly my job, working with politicians to help them understand this space. And I think we've seen a huge shift in the last few years. Politicians are really starting to understand that this is about authenticity. This is about actually having real dialogue with people. The polished political message does not work as well on Facebook, on social media, as making yourself available. Facebook is a dinner party. Social media is inviting people into your offices to have a conversation about issues that really impact them.
Now, the Russell Brand effect has been certainly written about a lot. Just how important is it, do you think, the fact that Ed Miliband went to his house, got interviewed, and that went out, of course, on Russell Brand's YouTube channel? Is it very influential?
I think he has quite a lot of followers that are very influenced by his opinions, so him telling them maybe to vote one way will be quite influential. I think he was very influential when he said that he told people not to vote and then changed his mind. So it'll be interesting to see whether the Russell Brand kind of following does have a big effect on the election.
I'm very interested in as well, because we talked about, how engaged people are, whether it will have any impact on actually the numbers of people as well voting.
Well, we have seen actually in a study we did in the States a while back that 350 142,000 people were encouraged to go vote because they had seen that their friends had
So
voted.
that was in America.
That was in America. You know, it's anyone's guess how everything is going to turn out tomorrow. If the weather stays this way, hopefully that won't drive too many people to stay indoors. But we're certainly hoping that kind of measurement will hold true here, that all of this conversation will lead to a real change in the way that people feel they have a say.
Yeah, and if it's been this active this time round, you wonder if there's another, well, there will be another election, but you wonder in the next election in a few years' time, assuming there's not another one before Christmas, how much more there will be.
Well, I think young people are a lot more aware of how politics affects them now, especially with the tuition fee rows. People kind of see politics as kind of affecting their lives directly now, and I think that will drive a lot of young people out to vote.
All right, thank you both very much. Rachel, did they tell you that you're going to be indoors for this? Is this why you didn't go to the Poor thing, shivering madly.
Did they tell someone else that then as well?
Yes, a slight bit of misinformation this morning. Anyway, thanks so very much. That's great.
Thank you very much indeed. And do feel free as well. I know lots of you have been getting in touch with the programme this morning. We appreciate all your messages. Thanks very much for getting in touch.
Yeah, we are feeling the sort of, I think, the revenge of the weather gods this morning here in Chester. What's it like elsewhere? Here's Carol.
Morning. Good morning, both. Good morning to you as well. Well, it's fairly similar in a lot of places, but I want to take you back to April. You may have guessed this already anyway. We had the sunniest April on record with 212 hours of sunshine compared to the average of 148 hours of sunshine. How things have changed since the beginning of May. In fact, today, for most of us, it is going to be another blustery day. Now, there's going to be more cloud around today than there was yesterday. We'll see scenes close to the coast like this, with some large waves coming in, and the wind, particularly across southern England, Wales, and the far north of Scotland, will be strongest. We've had a lot of showers this morning, generally more rain across Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales. That will tend to turn more showery as we go through the course of the day, and it will advance eastwards as well. So as well as the rain, some sunshine, the best of which will be in